Have you ever discovered a detail at a theme park and thought, there's gotta be a story behind that? Well, you've come to the right place. We're Amanda, Kevin, and Kim, the team behind We're in the Park, and we've spent years exploring theme parks and creating seek and find games that uncover the details that most people miss. And now we're diving into the history, stories, and secrets behind those magical details. So grab your curiosity, and maybe even a churro, and let's explore the parks together, one detail at a time.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the We're in the Park podcast. This is Kim, and on this episode, I will be covering a few more dedication windows found at Disneyland in Anaheim, California. On our first episode about the windows on Main Street, U.S.A., we talked about the first 3 dedication windows found as you enter the park through the tunnel under the train tracks on your left. The windows for J.B. Lindquist, Marty Sklar, and Harrison Buzz Price are located on or near the City Hall building. If you missed that episode, please be sure to go back and check that one out. This episode, we continue our journey down the left side of Main Street. Right after City Hall, you'll find a set of restrooms, followed by the Disneyland Fire Department. Although it doesn't have any dedication windows in that building, there's something special behind the center window above the fire station. That is Walt Disney's apartment, which he used during his lifetime. Through that window, you can see a lamp that is always lit, symbolizing Walt Disney's enduring presence. When Walt was in the park, the lamp would be turned on, and when he was out, it would be turned off. Since his passing in December 1966, the light has been kept on every day to signify that Walt is always in his original Disneyland. Of course, the light has changed over the years, and it is replaced with a tree during Christmas season. So while the light does occasionally have to be turned off, it is always on during park hours. The station itself was designed by Imagineer Harper Goff, loosely based on a fire station in his hometown of Fort Collins, Colorado. Harper doesn't have a window on Main Street, but the next time you're in Adventureland, you can find a dedication window for him over there instead. The fire station in Fort Collins is still standing, and as of this recording, it is home to Happy Lucky's Tea House and old Firehouse books. Inside the fire station at Disneyland, you'll find a lot of interesting items. There's a potbelly stove, which Walt enjoyed creating miniature versions of, and a pole that used to connect to a closet in the apartment above. Additionally, there is a large horse-drawn fire wagon parked inside. From 1955 to 1960, this wagon would take guests down Main Street, pulled by 2 horses named Bess and Jess. The stalls with their names are still inside the firehouse today. Although more than just these 2 horses pulled the fire wagon, when any horse was on stage, meaning in the park, they were always playing the characters of Bess and Jess. After the fire station, you'll find a double-door gate leading to backstage area between the rear of the Emporium and other shops on the left-hand side of Main Street and the Jungle Cruise. On busier nights, they will sometimes open those doors as an overflow walkway for guests when the Main Street is really crowded. On those doors are scenes of turn-of-the-century vehicles with text that reads, "Discover the joys of motoring, in comfort, in style, Main Street horseless carriages for hire." The current version of the mural was repainted by hand between April and May of 2019 and is based on a quote, "an old piece of original artwork," according to the artist mentioned on a Daps Magic YouTube video from that year. The video shows Donald Duck holding a print of the art, which has the word "National" on it. However, the version in the park when they were done repainting it had the words Main Street instead, like it does today. The word "National" has been on the sign since at least 2014 because back then, Main Street vehicles were presented by National Rent-A-Car. We found a YouTube video posted in 2014 with a thumbnail showing the back of an omnibus with the art that looks like the center of the mural, but with the word "National" on it, while another video in 2018 shows the art on the omnibus with the words "Main Street." There is a similar looking, though not identical, set of gates in Disneyland Paris that used to advertise Hertz rental cars, but from more recent photos we found online, it no longer has a sponsorship name on it either. In the U.S., National Rent-A-Car and its parent company, Enterprise, have been longtime sponsors of the original Disneyland in Anaheim and Walt Disney World. We couldn't find anything about when the original design was created or who designed it, so if you know, please share with us by joining our completely free private Facebook group, We're in the Park Explorers. Continuing past those gates, you reach the back corner of the Emporium. From this side, it appears as multiple buildings, one with a portal-style window on the first floor and a window with striped awnings above, and then a brick building with 2 rounded awnings below and 3 arched windows on the second floor. 2 of the 3 windows have dedications on them, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. The first window on the left shows an illustration of an artist painting a portrait of a man in a suit and top hat. It has the text that reads, Partners Portrait Gallery, Charles Boyer, Master Illustrator. Charles Boyer attended classes at Chouinard Art Institute, where he received a working scholarship because when he wasn't attending classes, he was also working as a janitor at the school. He was hired at Disneyland in the fall of 1960 for a temporary job as a portrait sketch artist. After 6 months of creating pastel portraits of park guests in Fantasyland, he was transferred to the marketing and advertising art department, where he became the park's first full-time illustrator and later became the park's only master illustrator. Over his 39-year career with Disney, he created almost 50 collectible lithographs, as well as artwork for magazine covers, brochures, and flyers. The more famous works by Boyer is his 1981 Partners lithograph, which depicts Mickey and Walt Disney standing and holding hands, which was the inspiration for the Partners statue from 1993 by Blaine Gibson, found in 4 Disney parks around the world, as well as at the Walt Disney Studios in Burbank. There is also a kind of parody of Norman Rockwell's triple self-portrait by Boyer in 1978, art showing Mickey Mouse painting a canvas with Walt Disney on it, while he's looking in a mirror at himself as Mickey. A few online sources state that the original of that painting is on display at Walt Disney Hall at the exclusive Smoke Tree Ranch, where Walt's Palm Springs vacation home was located. If you've never heard of Smoke Tree Ranch, the next time you find yourself in front of the partner statue, take a look at Walt's necktie and you will find a block logo made of the overlapping letters STR, and that's the logo for Smoke Tree Ranch. It's also on the tie of the Walt Disney animatronic that's in the Opera House, but we're not really covering those sides of Main Street yet, so be sure to check back on that. Another famous lithograph is Mickey Mouse with a firefighter, which he created in 1993 to honor firefighters during the California Southland fires that year. The last painting he created for the company before he retired was named Walt's Dream, which depicts a young Walt Disney holding Mickey Mouse's hand, with the rest of the Fab Five also present as Walt gestures towards orange groves in front of them. You can see Sleeping Beauty's castle in the clouds above them. That painting went on sale the same day his window was dedicated on Disneyland's 44th anniversary, July 17, 1999, just after his official retirement. I say official because Charles did create at least one more work after his retirement. There's a painting that was made for Disney's California Adventure, which was sold as a limited edition lithograph in 2001. Now, this may or may not have been painted before his retirement, but he definitely did come out of retirement to create a few works for Disney with help of his son, Bruce. In 2005, to celebrate the park's 50th anniversary, Disney released Disney dollars with a face value of $50. Charles designed the bill, which showed a modern 2005 Mickey Mouse standing in front of the centerpiece of a Mickey Mouse from the 1930s. This was Charles' first time designing a dollar bill and was Bruce's first time creating art for the Disney Company. The easiest way to view art by Charles Boyer online is to just go to eBay, search his name, followed by the word Disney. We will have photos of his artwork included in our blog and some of our links in the show notes. Charles was inducted as a Disney legend in 2005 and passed away in 2021. As I mentioned earlier, this building section has 3 windows on the second floor. The next window after Charles is still empty, but the third has an illustration of a rocking horse on it, and there has text that reads, The Artisan's Loft, Handmade Miniatures by Harriet Burns. This dedicated window was added in 1992 to honor Imagineer Harriet Burns. Born Harriet Tapp in San Antonio, Texas in 1928, she earned a bachelor's degree in art from Southern Methodist University in Dallas. Afterward, she spent a year in graduate school at the University of New Mexico, where she studied art and philosophy. She married her college sweetheart, Bill Burns, in 1951 and had a daughter in 1952. In 1953, the family relocated to Hollywood, California after Bill returned from the Korean War. There's an unfinished interview published in the book Walt Disney's First Lady of Imagineering, where Harriet tells the story about how she would go pick up her husband after work, but would often stop by a prop store named DICE, which was an acronym for a Display Industries Cooperative Exchange. She would stop and just look in the windows, and then one day, Vice President came out and asked her if she wanted to come in. He asked if she had done any work in prop building, and she answered that she had worked on a display for Neiman Marcus store in Texas. The man told her they were looking to hire someone part-time to help out, and after discussing it with her husband, she started working there soon after. She worked on props for a television show named Colgate Comedy Hour. She did the interior and sets for Las Vegas hotels, and she spearheaded displays that were going to be installed at Santa's Village, a Christmas-themed amusement park that was in Lake Arrowhead, California, from 1955 to 1998. It later reopened as Sky Park at Santa's Village in 2016. The company had also done all the props for the show at the Dunes Hotel in Las Vegas, but the hotel's owners refused to pay, causing DICE to go out of business in 1955. An assistant that had been hired to help her, a man named Jim, let her know that some of his friends who he had kept in touch with at Disney had told him that they were hiring for a TV show for children, and both of them applied and were hired. She started work painting sets for the Mickey Mouse Club television show. She was soon coordinating the show's color stylings, designs, and built the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. While working on the Mickey Mouse Club, she shared a workspace with future Disney Imagineering legend Fred Yeager. At the time, Fred was working on models for Disneyland, and after seeing how good she was at her job, he urged Walt Disney to transfer her to WED Enterprises to design attractions. After Wathel Rogers and Fred Yeager, Harriet Burns was often considered the third employee hired at WED and was the first female Imagineer and the first woman hired in a creative role rather than an office job. The official Disney Legend bio describes her as working padded shoulder to shoulder with men in the model shop, wielding saws, lathes, and sanders. She was still the best-dressed employee in the department. She was quoted as saying, "It was the 1950s. I wore color-coordinated dresses, high heels, and gloves to work. Girls didn't wear slacks back then, although I did carry a pair in a little sack, just in case I had to climb into high places." The way she tells the story in that unfinished interview, it isn't clear how formal things were back then, because she makes it seem like her actual job was to paint for the Mouseketeers. But Walt told her when the show wasn't shooting, she could work on the new parks he was building. This effectively made it where she was doing both jobs at the same time. But according to everyone around her looking back on it, she, Wathel, and Fred were the model shop, the heartbeat of Walt's design engine for Disneyland and beyond. For the park, she helped create models of Sleeping Beauty's castle, as well as other opening day projects like the miniature scenes in the Storybook Land Canal Boat attraction. Other attractions she created models or set designs included Alice in Wonderland, the Matterhorn, Submarine Voyage, and Enchanted Tiki Room. I found Harriet's work on the Enchanted Tiki Room to be incredibly fascinating. She collaborated with Blaine Gibson on the parrots, where Blaine handled the mechanics, but Harriet took the step further by applying the fur cloth. She even managed to fulfill challenging requests, such as creating fabric over the stomachs to make the birds appear as if they were breathing. While Blaine's parrot body design was reused for the macaws and cockatoos, Harriet meticulously finished each bird individually, crafting unique feather effects for each performer. She also worked on figure finishing and stage design for all 4 Disney attractions at the 1964-1965 New York World's Fair. Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, the Carousel of Progress, Ford's Magic Skyway, and It's a Small World. After the World's Fair, she worked on New Orleans Square, Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Haunted Mansion. She created a concept model of the house, presented it to Walt with 2 spooky versions and 1 nice-looking house. He chose the nice-looking house, famously saying, "We'll take care of the outside and let the ghosts take care of the inside." I found a really cute story from Harriet's granddaughter, Chelsea, who shared one of her favorite stories about her grandmother. She revealed that her grandmother modeled the pirate sitting on the bridge, the one that rocks back and forth like he's going to fall over in the Pirates of the Caribbean. He was modeled after the family milkman. Harriet retired in 1986, but continued to be active in art in Santa Barbara. Her husband, Bill, sadly died of a heart attack 6 weeks after they moved to Santa Barbara area, only months after Harriet retired. Became a Disney legend in 2000 and passed away in July of 2008. There is a tribute at the Haunted Mansion in the Magic Kingdom Park in Florida. There's a tombstone that reads, "First Lady of the Opera, our haunting Harriet, searched for a tune but could never carry it." So the next time you're walking down Main Street at Disneyland, be sure to tip your hat to Walt's apartment and say a little thank you for the magic that is Disneyland. Take time to admire the details around you that are brought to life by these creative individuals. That's going to do it for the second set of windows along Main Street and some history of the fire department. Be sure to stay tuned for our next set of windows in our series. Just remember, if you want to see the details that were discussed in today's episode, head on over to our Facebook group, Where in the Park Explorers, where you can join the conversations and even share your own pictures and stories. You can also head over to our page, whereinthepark.com/podcast, to find our full blog that has all of the photos of what I talked about today. The link is in the show notes below. So until next time, we'll see you somewhere in the park.
Thanks for exploring with us today. If you're ready to take your park experience to the next level, check out Where in the Park Games. They're self-paced, seek-and-find adventures designed for you to experience the park in a whole new way. Whether you're visiting for a birthday, a family gathering, date night, or even a solo trip, you'll be searching up high and down low for the details found in the park's theming. Get ready to discover a deeper appreciation for your favorite theme park with a Where in the Park game and take 10% off your next adventure by using code PODCAST10. Which park will you explore next? Until then, we'll see you somewhere in the park.